Hey guys, having a chance to go through the tape, thought we did some good things in all three phases, but clearly not enough to overcome the three turnovers as we talked about post game last night. A lot of situations in the football game where it was kind of one of those games where field position and limiting some easy opportunities for points for the other side, especially with how well our defense was playing. Critical at certain times in the football game to have those things come up. We've got to continue to try to fight to have it be a part of our winning formula to at the very least try to break even with that metric. I know in our losses that turnover margin has really been a deciding factor in all of them, but that doesn't take away the fact that there's a lot of areas that we can continue to improve. I can continue to improve for our team, and that's what we'll get ready to go do with a great opportunity to be back at US Bank this week. Division opponent. We're 2-0 in the division. We want to continue to win our games in the division. It's a huge priority for us, and it's going to be a challenge. Chicago went and played a really good game yesterday, had a chance to beat the Lions there, a team that's having a great season, really hard to beat at home, and Chicago went in there and gave them all they could handle. So we've got to have a great week of preparation and take that to US Bank and have another great atmosphere there. It's been phenomenal this year for our team. Did want to update you guys on a couple roster moves. We did confirm via MRI that Dean Lowry did sustain a pec tear. He'll have to have that surgically repaired, and he will go on IR in the short term here. We will activate Chris Reed to the roster in that spot. He's done a nice job kind of through his window, getting ready to go, and gives us another really good depth piece along the offensive line. Open it up to you guys.
Matthew, Andrew, and then Kevin.
Kevin, just wondering if you guys were able to look back at it, the operation making up for Jordan Hicks's absence with Ivan Pace mixing in Anthony Barr, and kind of how you thought that went.
Yeah, I thought for the most part, mixing and matching some things, and then IP running that green dot. It was probably as smooth as it was going to be. Jordan's been, extremely critical for our whole defensive operation. Especially in those, 2 minutes or when teams are going fast on us and we're communicating some different, different alerts, checks, things like that. But I thought IP did a nice job handling that. I thought Flo was really good with his communication. A lot of substitutions throughout the night with different personnel groupings and getting Anthony in the mix, like you said. There's a lot of moving parts there, and we'll continue to get our guys more comfortable in maybe some new roles or more enhanced roles, but a lot to build off of.
Hey, Kevin, I just wanted to check in and see what's the plan with Justin Jefferson this week, and does the loss create any urgency at all to get him back?
Well, just with his impact for our team, I mean, there's been some real urgency, throughout this whole process, but also with a mindset on being smart and making sure that, he feels as good as possible, as good as we can, to him feeling 100% when he comes back. I know he had a really good week last week. We'll have, an extra day this week of kind of time for him to turn over. We'll continue to push him more. As of right now, I look at him as questionable for the football game through a little, more work throughout the week and see where he's at, come the weekend as far as his availability for Monday night. But he's progressing, really well and doing a little bit more. And I think he's gaining, the confidence that, when that time comes, he's going to be ready to roll.
Yeah, Kevin, along those lines, how tempted are you to take advantage of the bye that comes after this game to give him, I don't know if you call it a free week or an extra week or whatever, just to really lock down his health before he does come back?
Yeah, Kevin, I think that will definitely go in to the decision-making process. like I said, it's an injury that I think we're right at that 6-week mark or so, and he's really attacked his rehab, and I think when that time comes, we'll feel comfortable with with Justin being out there. I know Justin will as well. It's one of those things that knowing you have the bye and knowing 5 critical opportunities to come after that bye. We do have to be smart. We do want to be. This is a player that means a ton to our organization, both for these, this home stretch to try to, solidify our positioning in the playoffs and still, try to compete in the division as much as we possibly can. But Justin means a lot more than just these 5 or 6 games, as critical as they are. His long-term career here is the priority, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be any less likely or more likely to play this week. I think it's based upon the day-to-day response to the workload and how he's feeling to truly go out there and be himself.
Alec, Dane, and then Dave.
Yeah, hey Kevin. What if anything have you heard from the league on that Kareem Jackson hit on 3rd and 1 on the opening drive?
Nothing yet. Whether we do or not, it's totally the league's process on that. Really doesn't matter what my opinion or really anybody else's opinion is for that matter. I know they'll take a look at it. They've got a great process that they go through post game on every game. And I'm sure they'll handle that. But as far as I'm concerned, we're just, our responsibility is coaching our football team and making sure they understand how to play aggressively, how to play with speed and finish, but all within the letter of the law and how we're trying to play football nowadays in 2023. So we're just concerned about the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll allow the league to handle that through the process they have.
Hey, Kevin. I know you mentioned Ty Chandler last night.
Yep.
When you watch the tape on him and just, I guess, see him in practice and in games, what makes him so effective with the football in his hands? And does it look different when he takes the ball as opposed to when other players do?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious to see his burst, his athleticism. He's an exciting player with the ball in his hands. We try to find different ways to get it in his hands throughout the game. He does play a critical role right now on our offense to be a featured player. We're continuing to add to his workload every single week because he's earned those opportunities. And I feel great about where Ty's at just in year 2 of his career, the progression from when we brought him in as a rookie last year to now. I'm excited about his long-term future, but I'm also excited about his opportunities coming up, Monday night and how he can impact the game and continue to be, in a time where we've been without Justin and we've been without, our Kirk now for a few weeks. We're trying to maximize our offensive personnel as much as we can, give those guys chances to go out there and do what they do well, keep them fresh by using the depth that we do have. And then just, what different ways can we activate certain players? And Ty's definitely one of those. While still, searching for that consistency on all 3 downs, whether it's, throwing him the ball, handing him the ball and watching him do his thing. And then the blitz pickup that's very critical throughout the regular phases of our offense where, we're trying to be multi-dimensional to move the football. And ultimately it's about Josh Dobbs and how we can make him as comfortable as possible in a short amount of time. And really activating all of our skill players to help do that.
Kevin, as far as the running game as a whole, what aspect of the performance yesterday is maybe the most important to carry forward next week?
Yeah, I thought there was, some physicality. We were maybe a little bit more gap, heavy in some of the pull plays. I thought just the, both Ty and Alex, with some yards after contact. There was a lot of, they were trying to move and stem the front and do different things. We're trying to handle that movement. But there were several times where those guys found some creases and got us 3, 4, 5, 6 yards more on some runs there, really kept us kind of ahead of schedule on some of those drives where we were able to kind of ground and pound a little bit. And, it was a high rush attempt kind of game. We knew it was going to be like that with how we wanted to possess the ball from a time standpoint, control the ball, control the field position when we could. We did a lot of the things that we wanted to accomplish in the game. Really the two things that you look back on, the turnovers clearly, but then, the red zone finish, you'd love to finish with 4 touchdowns when you get down there, and that could have been the difference as well. So a lot of things we can do better, a lot of things we can execute better plays I can call. It's all of us making sure that, we completely exhaust, our attempts to make what we think it's going to take to win the game, make that come to life throughout the 4 quarters of the football game. But I liked the way we were able to establish the run and kind of maintain that throughout the night.
Alec and then Jeff.
Yeah, Kevin, just how much do you feel like you're learning about Josh and the situations that maybe he can thrive in, just having now seen him play 3 times?
Yeah, I think we learn a lot about each other. Every opportunity we get, we're making up for a lot of lost time. Some of the things we're learning about, and he's probably learning about our offense. Sometimes don't always equal great results, but they're real growth moments for Josh and our offense. And we've got to try to find a way in game to allow those moments to help us propel to be a big time reason why we win the football game. I thought he's, once again, his athleticism showed up clearly on some critical downs, and then, just continuing to find that balance of when to exhaust a progression, when to, try to go make a play. And we're not in a position right now to overcoach by any stretch. We don't want to take any of that out of his game because I think it's a critical factor for him. In addition to as he builds comfort and confidence in our progressions and the footwork and kind of the rhythm and timing of our pass game, I think we'll continue to see some improvement, and we'll continue to find areas where maybe we can emphasize to find those things. But I'm proud of the way Josh is going out there and competing. You can tell his teammates, just respect the heck out of him for how he's going about his business throughout the week of preparation. He will continue to improve, and I'm excited to keep coaching him to help him do it.
Kevin, I just want to ask you about your defense a little bit. You've done such a good job of keeping them out of the end zone the whole game, and then Cortland. Is that just Cortland Sutton at the end there making a big play, or is there something more that Mekhi Blackman could have done there?
Yeah, I thought he was in good position, Jeff. It's a, sometimes in this game it ends up being a size and kind of the location of the football thrown by Russell, and where Cortland went up and got it, and they made a play. And they made enough plays on that drive to get in position to have kind of some throw it in type of opportunities there at the end of the drive. You'd love to keep them out of that kind of scoring zone, make it a little bit harder to potentially get that ball thrown in the end zone with some of our looks along the line of scrimmage. I mean, we were just about home on the play from a rush standpoint, and Russell made a big time play like he's done a ton in his career. And that's what happens when you're in a game like that, and you allow an experienced quarterback to have the ball with a chance to go win it at home, and he did it. That's where a couple more plays here and there, we capitalize in plus territory without turning it over on another opportunity, and maybe we score some touchdowns a couple more times in those 4 red zone trips, and we don't allow them to have that opportunity to do that. But we knew field position would be big throughout. It's been a big metric for them, as well as the turnovers, and tried to play the game a certain way, and they just ended up making a play in the end. And even then, after the 3 turnovers and all the things that went against you from a standpoint of giving yourself the best chance to win, we still had an opportunity in the end, and they were able to get a stop. So in the end, the Broncos, did more than we did to win the football game. There's a lot of things we can look back on and hopefully apply those things to improve here and continue to push forward and onward in this season.
Last one to Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, Sean Payton said today that they were very aware that Mekhi Blackmon was a rookie and he was out there in his first start. And so, A, how do you think he held up overall? And B, where are you at with Caleb in terms of his recovery?
Yeah, I thought Mekhi competed. There was, we're going to look back on that play in the end, and they made that play, and it'll be a good learning experience for Mekhi. But there were some other ops in the game where, he was very competitive against some really good receivers, good skill group. And I thought the way the rush and coverage was tied together at times, whether we were bringing, 5 or more or dropping 8 in coverage, was well coordinated. And every time Mekhi can go out there and get those valuable reps, we're still in a world where we're asking a lot of young players to develop in real time. And then I'm glad you asked about Caleb. I did, want to give an update on him. He'll progress, hopefully, throughout the week. And I'm looking at him as questionable for the game, but he's doing very well. Got some good work in over the weekend, and ultimately we'll see where he's at from a standpoint of being able to go on Monday night. Jawan stepped in for, some critical snaps as well as an elevation guy, and Byron was his normal self. So, there were some real quality performances across the board. They made a couple more plays than we did down the stretch, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I think there was some real growth in the secondary from some guys that were asked to step up.